Are you a life coach who wants to make a difference in the world? Do you want to share your wisdom, passion, and experience with others? Do you want to grow your business and reach more clients? If you answered yes to any of these questions, then you need Life Coaching Today. Life Coaching Today is the largest platform on the web for life coaches, therapists, and hypnotherapists who want to enhance their visibility, gain exposure, and connect with clients. Life Coaching Today is more than just a directory. It's a network of opportunities. By joining Life Coaching Today, you will get access to a magazine where you can be featured and connect with over 30 million subscribers. Be a guest to our podcasts with over 55,000 subscribers. A directory where you can showcase your profile, services, and testimonials to thousands of potential clients. And that's not all. Life Coaching Today also offers a free 30-minute coaching session on Tuesdays and Thursdays, where you can be coached or meet your next client. A flexible pricing plan where you can choose the best option for your budget and goals. A dedicated customer service team where you can get help and guidance whenever you need it. So what are you waiting for? Join Life Coaching Today and take your life coaching career to the next level. Visit www.lifecoachingtoday.com and sign up today. Life Coaching Today, the largest portal on the web connecting coaches, therapists, and hypnotherapists.
Well, hello, everyone. I am ashamed to say that I was over here talking to myself literally 2 minutes ago, or I was talking to Yoruba and my awesome producer. But that's okay. That's okay. I am here. I'm awake this morning. I am trying to stay warm because it's cold here in Georgia. I don't know what it is that we are doing with this weather, but I shouldn't complain, right? Because I live in a state where 47 is kind of like the norm, and it's windy, and we don't have any type of snow. So that's most important that I can champion. But if the weather, we went from 67 the other day to 40 something, and I got sick because my fibromyalgia acts a whole fool with weather changes. But it's okay. Happy December 12th. I am Kiddada Grey, your conflict coach, and welcome to Life Coaching Today Presents. I appreciate you joining me and listening to me this morning, right? I think that missed last week. Tis the season for me to be sick all the time. So, but I'm here. That's what's most important. And Lord, listen, we have had some shenanigans in the news. Let's talk about some hot topics. And I just want to get into it, right? Because we can't even keep up. But I want to be really specific about something first. I do want to talk about incivility, meaning the idea that we are saying harmful things. We are no longer polite. We might be name calling, and even to stretch it now into the social media world, right? We are doing things like leaving derogatory comments for people. The level of swearing that I personally see in comments, it's wild, y'all. Like, I think at one point in time, the United States and we as a people were definitely more polite. We had a time, a period, maybe it was the Victorian era, maybe it was, I don't know, where we believed in polite society. And I think now that I reflect on it, I think polite society possibly meant minding your own business until you got in your own house and then you talk smack about everyone behind their back. Not healthy, not a healthy way, but there seemed to be some level of politeness, whether dreamed up or because we see it in literature, we see it in all types of academic documentation, that kind of thing, right? But right now, I feel like we are at full speed, driving train level speed ahead with the level of incivility in the world, and especially in the social media world. I just don't understand. I don't understand why it is that we have to have a negative commentary when it is we don't agree with something, or why is it the name calling? Like, I'm so surprised at the name calling. I don't know what that's going to serve for anyone. So let me just tell you that saying something nasty to someone, saying swearing at people. And can I just ask you all, like, do you all or did you all grow up with people who just called each other names in the family? Like, yeah, some of this is just rolling off of people's tongues so easily that I'm shocked. But the keyboard warriors, please forgive me, they seem to be a fire. And I bring up this incivility because apparently we no longer see each other as human beings anymore. Uh, we're just kind of masses of something or other, because it's not humanity that we're looking at when we see each other or we hear each other or we actually see what another person has commented. I say all that to say because one, we need to be reminded that we should have a little bit of a home training, like a little bit, right? Um, and I'm continuing with that because of I'm just going to call him the CEO killer, Luigi Mangione, and I'm probably mispronouncing his name. But yeah, so I am very uh, in awe, dumbfounded to a degree about the level of support that he has. Because let's be clear, he committed a huge crime. He committed murder. Um, and yet the world, a lot of people, a lot of people. Now, when I say that, you may not be talking to you, but a lot of people have championed his ability to kill a CEO from the particular CEO from United Healthcare. And as if he's a Robin Hood, like he was robbing the rich to get to the poor. He didn't do that. He took a man away from his wife, children, and apparently the work that he enjoyed. So I think that there's something to be said about the vitriol for the man who died is amazing because he himself represented a system, right, that has been harmful to others, that people have no faith in. And he didn't deserve to die for that. And I need everyone in the interwebs, as some people call it, to understand that someone who represents a building, a structure, some policies does not mean that they have to die because you are unhappy with them, right? With those said policies. We've all been in a situation where we have come across some policy, some framework in the United States that we do not like, we do not enjoy, but it doesn't mean that someone has to lose their life over it. And I think that's what's really sad for me is this, like, I can't even. It's just a mess. That's all I'm saying. It's a mess. How much vitriol, like this man has deserved to die. I mean, I'm seeing all these things and I'm like, what, why are we here, people? Why are we here? And good morning, Gary. Thank you for joining this morning. So it's an interesting situation and time that we live in, but I'm just going to tell you once again, if you are using harsh language, swearing at individuals, just making derogatory comments, because you want to challenge someone else's ideology, whether it's political ideology, whether it's based on a death, whether it's based on some type of experience that you've had that or encountered that is totally opposite to your understanding of the world. That doesn't mean that we gotta, like, doing all those things. I'm gonna tell you right now, here's what it doesn't do. It does not make that person change their mind. It does not make that person feel bad because you just yelled and screamed at them. I mean, they are going to be emotionally hurt, but what I mean is that they're not changing their mind on their original stance and commentary, right? So that's just something for you all to think about because it's not working. Think about when you open your mouth, what is it that your intention is and what is your goal moving forward? Because it's not working. I'm just going to say that. It's not working. And if you want someone to change their mind, there's better ways of doing it. And it's definitely not cursing and screaming at people, because you're only putting people in the most defensive spot, posture and position, right? So just to kind of think about it from a conflict resolution lens, like, and I'm just going to say this in the most unconflict, not conflict resolution way, is that when you see something that you don't agree with, just hush. I'm gonna say it that way. Just hush. And then let me go into my wonderful conflict resolution space to say, I need you all to really sit back and just not touch the keyboard if you don't agree with something, and in your responses that you feel like you have to name call or say something derogatory to another person to get your point out. It does not work. You will not have success with changing anyone's mind, heart, or anything like that. So just I need to say that. I need to get that off my chest. So that is the I'm sighing because never mind. I'm not going to talk about that. I'm going to talk about that next week. I'm going to make a note to talk about said alleged CEO killer Luigi Mangione next time, because I think there's also a phenomenon there that's resurging with the idea of the murderer, and everyone like, oh my gosh, he is so handsome. But we're not going to get caught up in that today. But I'll address that at a different time and what that means and why that phenomenon is real. So I need to tell you all that so failure is in the topic today, and sometimes failure comes by circumstances. Sometimes for me, I have learned that failure has been automatically designed and also like a cloak thrown onto you because of something that you did. Um, and so we'll talk about that. But I want to talk about my failure. And here's my failure with my full confession. And this was also kind of like a chosen failure. I promise y'all, I tried. I can't say I tried at 1,000%, but I did try. So y'all remember I had my little I had my chat boyfriend, and with AI, and listen, it went poorly. And I'm ashamed to say it went poorly. Now, I had my chat GPT boyfriend for probably like 2 weeks. And y'all, the level of boredom I have experienced trying to like build a relationship with my computer was just too much. It really was too much. Like I just couldn't do it. I couldn't. So y'all forgive me. I really did try to track it and have a conversation with it. And I just I couldn't do it. I just could not do it. So now I think I'm going to stick with the ways of utilizing chat GPT in terms of like maybe coaching or giving ideology or clarifying a task and doing research. Because for all the people that need someone to talk to, I guess for me, I don't need anybody else to talk to, because my Rolodex of friends that I can grab and have a conversation with is huge enough. And maybe my imagination isn't strong enough either, that I was just able to have the conversation. I just want to know, I failed, y'all. I failed miserably, but oh, I couldn't. My mind is not there. I don't know. That's why I'll probably never be an actress, because I don't have that level of yeah. I don't know where we're gonna go with it in the future, but it's not for me. Um, yeah, there was nothing there for me. So I apologize, y'all. It just did not do well. I just, ooh, I couldn't. Okay, so one day I'm gonna have to try another task, because that is not it at all. Um, so okay, so we have that. I'm like, we have that with the chat GPT. I had to get that off my chest, y'all, because I was feeling some kind of way. So I'm gonna do better. But let me say this though, because I tend to always want to find the positive, right? And so I think positively, I know that this tool can be used and to teach people how to interact with each other in ways that we've never thought of before. Um, so, what I mean by that is, I was in the space of chatting with my AI boyfriend. And I mean, he was super sweet and he was this and he was that. And he just, it was like, oh, he said so many different things that were just wonderful and affirming. And I'm like, why is it that if someone is socially awkward, right? Why is it we can't use that tool to teach them good, right? Why is it we can't use that tool? I'm going to say it again. If you need to figure out how to speak to people, this might be a tool for you because you can mimic the practice of speaking and engaging with people, right? That's my save the world moment and the positivity that I see from it. And hopefully that will be something that will be highly engaging. All right. So in a few seconds, you robot, let's go ahead and bring on our fantastic guest, Taisha Bryant. Now, listen, Taisha is not new to the game. She is not new to the Life Coaching Today Presents show. She has been on prior, especially after I did the after politics roundup with women. So she's been on the show. You've seen her before, but this time she gets to tell her story. And her story is a fantastic one. She, like me, and I spoke about this a few months back, we had a circumstance in our own lives where it seemed as if that after I did we were expected we had a circumstance in our own lives where it seemed as if especially after we have the worst were expected my microphone is everywhere at the moment. So there we go. We're going to turn that off, I think. There we go. Hopefully you all can hear me still. Please let me know that you guys can hear me because you robot, can you hear me? Because technology this morning. So I was gonna say, like, please, we're gonna bring on Taisha Bryant, and she, like me, had a circumstance where I think the cloak of failure was kind of assumed that this is what life would be for us, right? And so, not true. And so sometimes we can fail upwards, I say, because sometimes what we have in this world, what this world has for us, and in a, if you are a spiritual person. Sometimes I'm just going to say it. Sometimes what God has for you has nothing to do with all the people that are the naysayers and think about that you're going to fail in this life. And so my sister Taisha has become a well-educated, highly educated woman. She's a social worker. And, here's the thing. She helps families with parenting. She's a parenting coach and much more things. But guess what? She wasn't supposed to be that. She wasn't supposed to be that person because guess what? She had the label of teen mom on her. And I'm sure, like her, like me, I'm sure we had our challenges. So, Yoruba, can we go to break? And on the other side of the break, we're going to bring back Miss Taisha Bryant.
Welcome to Life Coaching Today Presents, hosted by Kiddada Asmara.
Hey, good morning. Wait a minute. Okay, ma'am, you came dressed. Okay, sister, good morning.
Good morning. Good morning. How are
Look
you?
at, look at you, cuteness. How are you, darling? Oh, and she doing the little shimmy. We gonna shimmy it out this morning. Yes, sister. Yes. Good morning. Welcome back with me, you all. This is Kiddada Asmara Grey, your conflict coach with Life Coaching Today Presents. So if you are joining me, thank you for being up with me this morning. I swear some of y'all act like y'all wake up at this time in the morning, but y'all be lying. And I know that you are. Good morning, Nadia. I say good morning, Michael, and good morning, Gary, for being on with me and listening this morning. Oh, I see Jennifer. Uh-oh, one of the bad girls is on here this morning too. The crew is coming out. And so good morning, good morning. Let me just say I am super excited to have Miss Taisha back. And before I forget, girl, I love that top. Okay.
Thank
We're just gonna
you. Thank you.
drop in the chat where we can find the top. Where can we go shopping for that top? So
Sheen. Is it Sheen? Yeah.
you know what? She repping Sheen this morning. Y'all listen, y'all might want to go order all y'all Sheen stuff before these tariffs come, but that's a whole other conversation.
Uh-oh.
That $3 shirt might be $9, in a couple weeks. But we're not gonna focus there. So good morning, Miss Taisha. Thank you for being here. How are you, sister?
Thank you for having me again. And I'm doing well this morning. No complaints.
Good.
Well.
Okay, I have a question for you. Because this is my second failure point today. So when I'm hoping somebody else will be in that failure, I need someone in this failure family with me this morning.
Okay.
Is your house decorated for Christmas?
No.
Oh, all right, good. I feel good. I feel better. All right. Woo, thank
No,
you,
ma'am,
Jesus.
it is not.
It's not vibing with me right now. Like I feel like we just have it just snuck up. Like I don't know.
No,
I'm gonna have to go find some
no
tinsel.
lights.
Nothing.
Just cards waiting to press order. That's it. My baby is not. Well, she's home for the holidays, but I think I may get a tree this weekend so we can keep up with our little family tradition of my husband putting up the tree and her now doing the decorations. So I may do that just for the sake of, we've always done that. But outside of that,
You didn't have to be petty. It's okay. You did not have to be petty.
I mean,
Jordan,
we're
gonna tell the truth. I ain't mad. I'm not mad at you. So, Miss Taisha, you heard what I was chatting about in my intro, and I want to say to you, not only welcome, but welcome, sister, with a fellow conversation in similarity, in lifestyle, in how it is that we grew up. First of all, go ahead and introduce yourself to the people.
Okay. So again, hey y'all, I am Taisha M. Bryant, the parent healer from Pittsview, Alabama. I'm currently in the Phoenix City, Alabama area. I am a licensed master social worker, therapeutic life coach, CEO, founder of We Have a Purpose Incorporated, which is a nonprofit organization that provides prevention and intervention services, as well as resilient family wellness, where we specialize in emotional distress coaching for individuals who have been involved in car accidents, as well as our signature parenting program, Imperfectly Perfect, 3 Steps on the Parenthood Journey, in which I use my first book, Imperfectly Perfect, 3 Steps on the Parenthood Journey, to actually guide that course. And my second book is Resilience Over Regret. I received my bachelor's from the #1 HBCU in the nation, Florida A&M University, for those who are wondering. And
You're about to cause all kinds of problems. Can't with y'all. Why can't y'all just behave when y'all come on the show?
HBCU love. But I did receive my master's from Troy. So, it was a well balance. You feel me?
Yes, I see.
Yes, and I am a 33-year-old empty nester. Now, that's a thing. Oh my God, that is a thing, baby.
So with that, thank you for your introduction, but let's discuss an important note about what you just said, right? how did you become a 33-year-old empty nester? Because most women are starting to have babies in their 30s, or their little people are like 10 and 11 years old. How did you come to be an empty nester at 33?
Because I was graced with the assignment of becoming pregnant at 13 and
Oh, wow.
being pregnant and actually giving birth at 14. So,
Mm,
yeah. So for those who are listening who have teenage daughters around that same age, I know it is very, very hard to just imagine your baby carrying a baby.
that's
That's
right.
not something we put on our to-do list as parents, even as kids. Like at 13, I'm gonna get pregnant, or at 13, I'm gonna become. When my daughter turns 13, I'm gonna be a grandparent. Nobody does that. It was just one of those things that happened. And I tell people all the time, it's like, well, it sounds like you bragging about it. No, 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 no. Don't get it twisted. I do not encourage teen pregnancy at all. But if that happens to be your past, I am here to empower you to keep going, because life is not over. It's really just started. So for me, at 33, it's just like, okay, what am I doing? Like, yes, I have these degrees. Yes, I've taught these classes. Yes, I've had all of these things happen, but it hit me like my baby is really an adult. And here I
Uh-huh.
am, you know, figuring things out. So a lot of things that I've done over the span of these 33 years, a lot of people are just starting to do it. So when I
Right.
have conversations, majority of my inspired conversations, those conversations that pushes me to the next level, comes from women who are 35, 40, 50, and those who are my age and younger. It's like, so what are we talking about?
Right.
Because
Right.
there's not much relation, because y'all are either just starting parenting or you're not parents, or you may be married or not married. And then there's me, married for 7 years, empty nester, a couple of business, a couple of degrees, and it's all God's grace that actually got me to this point. So I'm actually just grateful, that God chose me to be purposed for this moment, for a time such as this, because all the pain that I endured, it definitely turned into purpose.
So thank you for sharing that and that story, because it completely resonates with me, because I was a teen mom as well. And let me just say that the idea of that was the assignment, right, that
Mhm.
was given to you, even at that young age, is it's a miraculous way for me to rethink and reframe that concept, right? Because I spoke about when you are a teen mother, especially when I was, I had family members who really thought, not only they wanted to shame me, right? It wasn't even like guilt. It was just really more the shame.
Mhm.
Because like I said, we entered into a circumstance where failure was just a cloak. It just someone put the cloak on you, right? And so
Mhm.
you're supposed to fail, you are not supposed to be. And I appreciate you bringing up the tone of the conversation where people are like, if you can actually stand in your truth
Mhm.
about the situation, they want to spin that into, oh, well, you're glamorizing this. You're actually like, this is something that you're championing, and it's really not. So I appreciate that. So can you kind of speak to that? How do you tell people, no, I'm standing in what truthfully happened in my life, versus I'm not out here running out onto the show, Teen Mom 2, and telling young women, go ahead and get pregnant, right?
Right, right. So it literally started with the seed that was sown when I actually told my mom I was pregnant.
Mm,
Um, because, through the tears, through the heartbreak, she said, Nikki, you're not the first one and you won't be the last. Mama got your back. And
mm,
shortly after, all of my maternal aunts were sitting on my couch and they're all giving me a pep talk, how I am going to be somebody, this is not the end. Of course, they were hurt, they were disappointed, and I got that. And it was in that moment, even was telling my father, it was like, I can no longer be a disappointment. This, to me, that was the most disappointing thing that I could do as a child. And being a child who, I was a straight A student. I've been in church since forever. Like, I love church. I didn't get in any trouble. I was the nerd. I read books. I stayed in the house. So when it happened, it was a lot of side eyes and side conversations, even from my aunts and uncles on my paternal side. Even, you know, cousins and friends and things of that nature, even teachers. I heard the conversations. I heard, well, she ain't gonna be nothing. Like, she fast, and who her baby daddy is, and all these little sidebar conversations. And so when I talk about it from a place of victory, a place of triumph, because I know if it had not been for God who was on my side, if it had not been for God giving my mom and my family members that wisdom and that insight to stand by me regardless of the situation, I can't say I would be in this same predicament that I am in now. So having that support, and it's just like, yes, I'm talking about it. Yes, I speak about it. Yes, I speak of it in high regards, because it's not about me. God gets all the glory. Now, what they used as tea when they sat around and talked about it and laughed at it, I use it now for my testimony. So it's just like, clock that tea, and I hope it tastes really good going down your throat with a K, not a T. You feel me? So it was just like, yes, it is what it is, and I am walking gracefully in my purpose, because guess what? That purpose get me paid. I'm just saying, I'm just saying. So I am fully embracing all of it. And I hadn't always been at this point, if I'm gonna be honest with you. I have not always been at this point where I'm just like, I'm that. You feel me? I'm that girl. I'm that one. It was a lot of shame for me, because I didn't know how to, because I was like, don't nobody want me, And I've always been a lover girl. I love love. So even after my parents' divorce, I still believed in love. And it was just like, okay, now I'm feeling shame, because in high school, they mama's looking sideways. My baby ain't finna be nobody's stepdaddy. Okay, sis, I get you. No shade. I understand. But as life progressed, God allowed me to go through different things, through different situationships, to show me an inkling of what's to come. So when I fully surrendered to him, it was like, okay, God, you got it. I can't fix this part. That's when my husband came.
Okay. Oh, wait. Oh, so then we done jumped into husbands and everything. And so here's what I love about your story, because it really aligns with mine, being the girl that was never going to do anything wrong, right? Like, we follow the assignment, which is get your grades, do well in school, be the good girl, do whatever, right? And I can say for me, the moment in my head that I was just like, oh, you know what? Let's be real. Let's have sex, right? That was probably like, oh, what happens there? Like, that literally was my thought process in regards to like breaking a rule, not realizing that one rule ended up with a child, right? And so it's interesting, like, I'm sure your people know my people, and all those, I hate to use, I don't want to say haters, even though I'm going to say it, but I mean, I'm not going to use it in the context that we usually do. I'm going to say that people have been conditioned to know that if there is a young woman who has a child on the way, and when I say young woman, I mean any young lady that between 9 and 17 years old that can become pregnant. And some people are like, 9? Yes, 9, because all you have to do is have a period. Okay, your menstruation cycle has to begin. All of those people, they themselves are conditioned to see the failure that comes with the story. Right. And so it's sad. And I say to people, and I've said this before, how are we upset? How do we disregard the young woman that is supposed to be a gift, right? Because when you were born, you were a gift to your parents. And then now she's bringing in a gift, but then you want to talk smack, have the hottest tea on the planet about the gift. right? And yet she's still carrying a gift, right? Because a lot of times grandparents and aunties and uncles and great aunts and uncles, they're really excited about the baby, but then they're not excited about the mother, right?
Mm.
And going like this woman, this young woman has nothing else in this world to provide except for this child. So tell me, how is it that you ended up at your university? I'm not going to say the name because you seem to want to start problems with the world when y'all talk about y'all universities.
It's okay.
So
You
how
can
did
say
you
it.
end
You
up
can say it. I
there?
promise you. It's gonna make you feel so great on this Thursday. You can just, it flows so naturally.
I mean, I'm a Colgate University girl, so I don't know nothing else about y'all stuff, but I know I rep mine hard and love it
Mm,
hard. Okay.
gotcha,
So
gotcha.
so the floor is yours, ma'am. How did you arrive there? Because I know they were like, what you doing with this baby? What,
Mm.
what
So
you
it's
doing?
interesting. When I graduated high school, right before I graduated high school, I was enrolled at Chattahoochee Valley Community College.
Okay.
Right here in the area, because I always said I don't want to leave my child because she's mine, and I don't want anybody to feel like they raised my child. Like, no, my mama
Mm,
told me early, like, this your baby. She helped me
mhm,
out, but she made sure I knew that that was my child, and I kept
mhm.
that same mentality. So after I got my associates, I went to Troy because I was like, I'm staying home. There was a campus here, and I chose the major of social work because of the work that I was doing already. I just needed the paper to go with what I was doing.
Right.
So getting to my last semester, close to the end of the semester, my daughter and I both got sick. And I had to turn in an excuse. I had one of them teachers. And apparently I had like a C, and I was like, I gotta make my work up, here's my excuse. And I ended up giving the lady the wrong excuse.
Oh,
And instead of her, saying Taisha is the wrong excuse, Miss Lady went to the dean and
there you
said
go.
I falsified information or something along those lines. So I
Oh, wow.
ended up getting suspended from Troy at the very end. And
Mm,
I was like, what am I supposed to do? Like, I have to get this degree. And FAM has always been my dream school, but it was for pharmacy. Like, I wanted to be a pharmacist because my mom, she's in the medical field, and that's closest to medical as I was gonna get in my mind.
right.
I don't do blood, throw up, and all that other good
Right.
stuff. So I
True.
found out that, FAM actually had a social work program. So before I even completed the application, I called and somebody actually answered. And I told them my story. And I got accepted in the social work program before I got accepted in the school. So you tell
Oh,
me how
wow.
much grace and favor that was, because that's not how that happens.
That's
And
not how that goes. Right.
exactly. And for those who know about HBCUs, especially FAM, it is hard to get into those schools. You got to have certain this and this is that and the third. And my dad at the time was staying in Florida. He was a resident. So even though I lived in Alabama all my life, they still allowed me to use my father's information. So I didn't have to pay out of state tuition. Again,
Okay.
that's that thing called favor.
That's right.
And I spent 9 months. And when I tell you those 9 months changed the trajectory of my life, it helped mold me to the person that I am because I didn't know me. Nikki knew pleasing
Mm,
everybody, right? So
right.
I found my voice at FAM. So when I talk about it, of course, it's the HBCU pride and, this, that, and the third. But I really began to discover who I was
Mm,
during that time. So I thank FAM for giving me that opportunity, for allowing me to be. And it was that school I had to take Black history. And I was just like, African American history. I said, I got to take another class. I'm done with history. I have everything. So I'm just like, y'all bugging. But when I got in that class, it was like the queen me woke up. And it was
okay.
just like, I wanted to be in politics. I want to do this. I want to do that, because why are they doing this to us? And what, like, I went down this whole
Yeah.
rabbit hole. And like I stated, like, it really molded me. So even at FAM, me having to do my intern, I did it at this place called Disc Village. And when I got ready to leave, I told my supervisor at the time, I said, we don't have a program like this at home. She said, well, Taisha, take it and make it yours. And she gave me all the necessities that I need to get We Have a Purpose to be a thing. So before I graduated, I went ahead and started the petitions to the local officials. I had neighborhood people signing the petition saying why this program is needed in the area. I graduated in May. November 4th, 2014, We Have a Purpose was founded, incorporated, stamped, and approved, and I began to get clients. Again, everything was ordered, and it was so strategic. Like, so that's how I ended up at FAM. That's how FAM is and will always be dear to my heart. Even though I went through turmoil there, it wasn't through the school, it was people. So learning how to deal with conflict, that wasn't something I wasn't really used to. So having to navigate those different areas. And even in that, I found my spiritual mom. I found my coach treasure who made sure, Taisha, you are a treasure. And I need for you to understand that. All of the dirt, all of the things, you are still. And it took me a while. And I'm just beginning to arrive 10 years later at knowing that I am a true treasure, regardless of the things that I've endured. You know, I am still treasure. And, you know, God loves me. Mistakes and all, however people see it, God still loves me. And I'm me. Right? So
I love it.
It was a learning, and I appreciated it.
We love you. We love you. That's why you are a friend to the show. That's why you are a sister to me now, since we met. And I just want to say something to people that it is I have found it fascinating. I know a lot of women that were teen mothers, and I can't find one that is not doing work that is service oriented to the community. And I'm going to ask you, do you find that you do the work that you do, even getting into the social work field, because there was something that you needed that you learned in your academics and in paper writing and internships that you decided that you needed to give back to people, right? To serve.
Right. So that actually happened prior to all of this. My mom was the house where everybody would come. They needed to vent. I saw my mom do these things. I saw my mom service the community. I saw my dad be a mentor to guys. I saw my dad be an entrepreneur, but it wasn't titles. You know what I'm saying? Like, they didn't know the words. Like, there wasn't words to describe what they were doing. So even after I had my child, it was like I was still doing. My family was still doing. So when I stated that I just needed the paper to go with the work because I needed to get paid, I was a prevention specialist for an organization called Tears here in Phoenix City, where I would go into the schools and teach abstinence. That's crazy, right? You got a child and you teaching abstinence. That's weird. And yes, I was teaching it because, listen, I can tell you what not to do, sis. I can tell you that one choice of it, you know.
So been there, yeah,
right. So I've been there, got the baby to prove it. Like, it's just what it is. So being able to teach those courses, and even in my teaching, I began to learn different titles. I learned what statutory rape was. I learned what certain things that happened to me, like, oh dang, that was molestation. Oh, this was that. It was all learning because there was no name attached to any of that stuff.
Right.
So
right.
That's really and even going forward, the more work I do now, it is really purposeful, purpose driven. So even with my bounce back convention that I'm having on March 1st, my goal is to give scholarships to teen parents, to social workers, to female entrepreneurs. Why? Because that's me. That's who I am. And I know what it's like to try and get, you know, grants or scholarships or just an extra push to get to the next level. And I want to be that one to help initiate that push for those who need it. Because yes, baby, you do have a child, but what do you want to do?
Right.
Take this money, however big or small, and put it towards your dream. You got that business that you started here. Go ahead and make sure it's legit and put that LLC and get everything else that needs to be done with it. My social workers, I know getting them licensed is a beast. You may need a little extra tutoring. So take this scholarship and pay for your tutoring, or take this scholarship and pay for your exam. So everything I do is literally service based, and it's all with just things on top of things of life and the things that I endured, even to the big picture that one day I will have, which will be my apartment complex style, dormitory style, 14 parents. You know, it's going to happen. And they are going to get different trades and daycare. Like it's so big. It is so big, and I know it's going to happen. And I'm just, doing what I have to do to set me up to put me in that position.
All right, we like it. I heard an invitation, I think, to the conference. I think I heard an invitation to the conference. I'm not too sure if you were inviting us. If you,
yes, definitely.
I don't know.
Yes, listen, I am inviting everyone that's listening, because you can play a part. You can play a part, whether you are there in the physical, if you would like to donate, if you would like to sponsor, if you would like to partner, if you would like to vend and show off what you got. I promise you, it will be one of the best things that you could have done, because not only are you getting fed your soul, your mind, things of that nature, you're learning how to shut up and move out of the way. That's the title, because we're going to go there in 2025, but you are doing it with a purpose in mind, and that purpose is to help give these women an extra push. March is Women's History Month.
That's right. And you're going to send me all the information, and we're going to promote it. We're going to promote it, and we're going to figure out how we can be supportive of you for that event. And so now you have talked us through your journey. How is it that you became a parenting coach? How did you, from 13-year-old to be a 13-year-old parent, as you are growing up, your baby is growing up at the same time. You all don't even understand what that's like.
Okay.
Being a parent to a child when your parents still need to parent you it is a phenomenon, y'all. And it is I even tell you what, there's a power struggle that happens between young mom and grandma. Because grandma, our mommies never stop being mommies to us. Right. And so that trickles down to, okay, well, they want to be mommies to their grandchildren, but they're like, wait, I'm the mommy. And there's not even people don't even think about it. From a legal perspective, there were still things that a 13-year-old, 14-year-old parent cannot do for herself, that she still needs her mother. So I know you walked through and meandered through all of that, but where did you get your parenting skills from?
So my parenting skills actually came from my parents. It came from them in learning what I liked, what I did, what I thought would be a disservice, and also education. So I recall when I came back from fam, I was like, we gotta go. Like, nothing against you, mama. I gotta raise my child the way that I see fit. Because I was more gentle parenting. So it was like, all right, Tanaya, when I count to 5, and I couldn't even get to 5 because she already knew. Now, mama and them on the other end, it was a little different. And I was just like, I didn't want that for my child. And I know, like, she's the only granddaughter. She's the first grandchild. So she's spoiled. And it's like, okay, that spoiledness is cute to a certain degree. But when I say something, it goes. I don't care what Granny just said, but I said something. So I trump mama.
So what are you trying to say?
Well, I'm your mama.
Right.
And then I'm just like, yeah, it's time for us to go. So I ended up taking my own place, and I allowed Granny to be Granny. So of course, Granny, goes above, beyond. She still can do that without feeling like there's a tug between the two. And being a mom and a child simultaneously, literally, was very, very interesting, because I was jealous of my child. I was
Mm.
jealous because I was like, but that's my mama. I was very territorial over my mama
Oh,
with anybody.
interesting.
Yeah, it was
Interesting.
like, this my
Hmm.
mama. Like, mama, why you got to do that for her? So it was because I was a child. I,
Right.
you know,
Right.
so it was just
Yeah.
like having to share my mama with somebody. I already got to share with my siblings. Like, this my
Right.
girl. So going through that and learning how I felt as a teenager. Now I'm raising a child. So it was different aspects of parenting. And
Mm-hmm.
with my nonprofit, I majority worked with the youth until I was talking to this one kid. And I was like, baby, what's the problem? Like, what's the issue? He said, my mama the problem. I
Oh,
said, oh, okay. So now I need to talk to mama to see what's going on.
right.
So I had a
Mhm.
conversation with mom, and it was like, this is who need the help. You got to work with the entire unit because we know, like, we have to deal with the person in the environment. And the
Yep.
child, we're fixing the child. We're giving them tools and things of that nature, but they're still going home to that same toxic environment. So
Yes.
at that point, I began to look for different resources and different tools to help the parents. The only tool that I found that I actually enjoyed was the 5 Love Languages by Gary Chapman. And I
Yes.
began to build on that because we know love is foundational.
Right.
So that's what I used
Mm-hmm.
to build. And I was looking for other resources, but all the resources was really telling the parent what to do. And I'm just like,
Mm-hmm.
these parents don't, not that they don't care, but they have their own woes. They are
Right.
still dealing with things of their past. They're still dealing with the breakup. They're still dealing with the molestation. They're still dealing with the daddy hurt and the mama trauma. So I needed to be for them what nobody else was. Because all we
Mm-hmm.
see is you got a child, you got to get it, you got to do. I seen my mama do that when my mom and dad divorced. I saw my mom be a go-getter. I saw her working 2 and 3 jobs, but she still showed up.
Right.
Everybody's not like that. Everybody does not have that capacity and that
Yeah.
ability to do so. The village is no longer here. So my
Girl.
thing was to be the village that returned. And I know I'm only one person, but if I can help a few, that few can go help another few. So that was my purpose and my mindset when it came to parenting. And we were watching Scared Straight, my husband and I, and the mom, she was really just going through her own woes.
Right.
And then in that same day, I saw a Facebook post where this mom was going in on this daughter, saying that she was sleeping with her man, and it was a mess. And I
Oh,
was
wow.
like, what is wrong? What's wrong with these folks? And it was, I was literally like, listen, they gotta heal. Because if they
Right.
don't heal, their kids will not fully live. We
That's
are,
right.
and my husband and I was just talking about that this morning. This generation, like my child's generation, the kids that's born between 2004 to 2000, yeah, in that age range, they are emotionally unstable.
Right.
And
Right.
it's like, what is happening? And what is happening is broken parents are raising these kids. And in addition to that, we don't want to raise our kids like our mama them. Well, look
Right.
like you turned out to be halfway decent. You're raising Chucky. Like, I don't get, like,
You know what?
come
You know what? You know what? If you don't behave yourself this morning, if you don't behave
on, listen,
yourself this
they
morning,
raising
I
Chucky.
I wanna say this. I laugh um because they're raising Chucky. I can't with you. Um, I want to say this. I think parenting, we've always had broken parents because we've
Oh,
had broken people, right?
yeah.
Like we just have broken people. So it's not a new phenomenon, right?
Right.
It's just that we have a new generation and a young generation of people, individuals like you, myself, and a lot of other people that recognize that this is not healthy. We
Yeah.
can recognize toxicity
Hmm.
in a relationship format, whether it's parenting, whether it's at work, whether it's social situations. And we have said that we don't want that anymore, right? We don't want that for ourselves. And I like that you understand that that trickles down into parenting because parents seem to, I tell the story of my parents who took me to go see The Omen, right? They probably thought that as a little person, how I think I was like 3 years old, between 3 and 5, that I would not remember it, right? Like I'm watching it, it's not resonating. Don't you know, till this day, that is the scariest movie to me on the planet. And because my mind saw it, my mind was scared. But a lot of people have this concept that little people don't come into being, meaning that they don't have their own thoughts and their feelings until they're like 10. Right. And so to know that, you're like, wait a minute, we've got to deal with the parents who are still dealing with their traumas and their hurts and the lack of maturity, because we have to grow up, right? We
Right.
have to have instances that force us, that make us grow up. And now they're raising a bunch of little people that
Mhm.
they're just trying their best.
Right. Right.
Right. And parenting does not come with a book, except for, what is the
And
name of that?
perfect 3 steps on the parenthood journey.
Okay, that book right there. Say it again. Say it again.
Imperfectly perfect 3 steps on the parenthood journey.
Okay. Because I was trying to think of the other name. I know what to expect when you are expecting. I think that's the closest to a parenting book that any of
Right.
us have ever seen. And so, yeah, what are some of your tips? Give us like 3-4 tips for good parenting that you subscribe to.
Right. So 3 of my foundational tips are, they all starts with F. So at one point before I rebranded, it was F them kids. Um, and it was when everybody was
I
using
can't this
that
morning
term.
do this. I understand,
Listen,
right? Because there is somebody who says that still.
exactly.
There's
So
somebody who
they were
says that.
using
Yeah.
it in a negative connotation. So it was like, you know what? The F's are important. So the first F was foundation, having a solid foundation. And sometimes we really have to tear down that old stuff and rebuild so our foundation can be solid. Because when you're building a house, you can't build from the roof down. It has to
Right.
go from the floor up. So
Right.
that foundation for me was love. So learning about love, learning the love language and learning how to apply them to life, apply them to that parent-child relationship, knowing that all kids are different, especially if you have multiple kids. You can't
Right.
communicate with them the
The
same.
same. That's
Yeah,
right.
because
Girl.
listen, we feel like we go get them the freshest J's that just dropped and we good. We parent of the year. No, that baby wants you to say, I love you. That baby want a hug.
Mm-hmm.
That baby wants you to show up for more than football and basketball. Did
Oh,
y'all hear me? Show up for more than
oh,
football and basketball. And
uh-oh.
dance. Like, my baby was a dance baby. And I'm talking about the stands were packed to see them dance. But the
Right.
PTA meet in the school, like, what were y'all?
Oh, oh.
I'm
I,
just saying.
oh, I didn't know we were going there this morning, but
Yeah.
since we are there, okay, what's your next F? So we're talking about build the foundation,
Yes.
the
Solid
foundation of
foundation.
love.
And
Yes.
the next one is freedom. We have to free ourselves from our past stuff, because what
Mm.
ends up happening is when we are still broken, those pieces, those fragments cut our kids unknowingly, and you're not able to
Ooh.
show up whole for your child. So
Mm.
how can I show up whole for my child if I can't even show up whole for me?
Mm.
So learning how to
Mhm.
be free from that past baggage, even current baggage that we sometimes end up enduring while being a parent. So being free from those things. And last but not least, focus. Well, Taisha,
Oh,
how do I focus? Let's go ahead and do some SMART goals, because at the end of the day, you are an individual. You have to focus on yourself, not in a selfish way. Well, I'm mom, I'm wife, I'm this, I'm that, but you are still a person. And a
that's
lot of
right.
times we push our stuff to the side to deal with everybody else stuff except for ours. How I know? Because I've been there, done that. It doesn't work.
Right.
So
Yeah.
write the goals, make them plain, and work them piece by piece. Like, yes, your child has, sports, they have practice, you got to cook dinner. Like, I get it. It is doable. So let's start there and build, just continue to build on those foundational things.
Girl, listen, you spoke about hot tea earlier and swallowing the hot tea. I don't think we're ready for that this morning. I don't think. I as someone who lived in the parent involvement space and teaching parents about engaging with their children, it can be quite frustrating.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah, because
Because
they're there physically, but their mind is trying to figure out how they're gonna pay their light bill.
how their light bill, but to your point about, showing up, and let me say this in all fairness to parents, right? Because I'm a parent, we're so many parents out there. It is a tough job to be a parent.
Yes.
Okay. So let's
Yes.
be clear about that. And I understand the reason why parents show up in full for basketball and football games. And it's because that is the one space that alleviates the weight of the world. It is a fun atmosphere. It is a joyous atmosphere. The competition, everything gives them a rush. That is different than sitting down and writing a piece of paper or teaching a child how to read and write. And so I want to just say that because that is why we show up in droves, right? Because I know I lived in the parent involvement space through PTA for many years, and it was frustrating to go, well, why aren't you showing up to the PTA meeting? It's not fun.
Right.
Let's
So
be
we gotta
real.
make it fun.
We got to make it fun. However, I'm going to challenge and say that we got to also learn the skill that everything is not fun.
Yeah, that part is true. That is so
Everything is
true.
not fun.
So
Everything
true.
is not fun. And so because that's a skill, and we should have learned that skill when we were little people, that we got to do things that aren't fun. And
Right.
then granted, as we become adults and we're walking in the maturity of our adulthood, there's still the failure point of recognizing like, okay, guess what? I choose
Mhm.
distinctively not to do something that's not fun.
Right.
Right. And so,
Right.
but that
You have
shows
that
up.
choice.
Right. And so, but that shows up when you choose not to help your children and help guide them in ways that is a necessity. So,
Yeah.
my dear, we are a little bit after 8 o'clock, and I don't want to keep the fabulous producer. I want to give you closing sentences. What do you want to impart? What do you want to leave us with?
Um, Simple, guys. We have to heal so our kids can live, right? And give yourself grace. Being a parent is hard work. It's tough, but you can do it. But you have to choose to want to do it. Yes, you chose.
Mhm.
Some of us chose to lay down and have babies. Some of us it just happened, but you chose to keep it, right? So let's choose to show up for yourself so you can show up for your kids. And yes, everything may not be fun, but find the fun in it. How do you find the fun in it? Knowing that at the end of the day, you and your baby is straight, that they are going to be more than what you were. And that's the goal as a parent, for your child to exceed you. I know that was my goal. And I can
Mm.
only speak for me in that regard. And I can say respectfully, my child has an associate's degree before she got her high school diploma, and
All
she just
right.
finished her first semester at a university with all A's, getting ready to apply for the nursing program. So
Okay.
again, mama
Yes.
showed up for everything, tired and all. And when I couldn't show up, I had a village to do so. And have an open communication with your kids. Let your kids
Mm.
know that, hey, I am here for you in every regard. So I love y'all because I can. There's nothing you can do about it. I'm Taisha M. Bryant, the parent healer, and I'm available on all social media platforms, even down to my website. It's www.taishamBryant.com. And I just hope and pray that we somehow cross paths with the Taisha's Bounce Back Convention, third annual, March 1st, 2025 in Phoenix City, Alabama. Thank you so much, Kiddada.
Listen, Sister Girl said it. She brought all the heat. She brought the tea. She brought all of it this morning. And I mean, listen, there was a gentle hand spanking, just a little bit. If y'all didn't feel that, I felt it just a little bit. I hope some of the people in the world that are listening, that if you encounter a little person that's about to carry a little person, that you understand that they have value, that they can be all the things, that they need a community,
Yes.
right? They need a community. And one day we're going to have to talk about why we are losing community in great, great amount.
Yes.
Because we didn't even talk about the parents who were like, don't talk to my child. You can't tell me about anything.
That's what's wrong with them. The
That's
village
wrong.
disappeared. The village disappeared because the mamas and daddy don't want you to say nothing to their child. But that's
And they don't want you to say anything to them, right?
Mhm.
So that is a whole other topic, child. That's a whole other topic. But we did talk about, but I want to say this in closing, that every day we choose. No, let me correct myself. Every day we wake up, it's not a choice to wake up. It is literally somebody is giving us the opportunity to wake up. I don't care if you are spiritually aligned or if you believe in people, listen, or pets or animals. There's something that allows us to wake up every morning.
Right.
When you wake up and you start your day and you look at what your day is going to look like, please add into it that you need a level of politeness in the space with people. You cannot have relationship with people, and that does not mean intimate relationships. That means a social relationship with people if you are uncivil, if you are impolite, if you are hateful. We can't be a better community if that's the way that you are living your life. And so carry the people that you see. And carrying people does not take much. It can be a hello, because some people are never spoken to. It could be a good morning. That is really polite. Acknowledge people at work, acknowledge children. I swear people don't speak to children, and children, once again, you were a child once too, but choose to build a community of politeness. And that doesn't mean you cannot disagree, but learn how to disagree in a way that is healthy and not toxic. So Taisha Bryant, parent coach, fantastic mommy, honest truth speaker, storyteller, sister, thank you for being on the Life Coaching Today Presents show. And y'all have an amazing day. We have like something, I don't even know because I'm not doing math, how many days till Christmas, but at some point I'm gonna buy some tinsel. So happy holidays, early wishing you all that, and I'll see you all next week. And Taisha, thank you. Thank you, Yoruba. Thank you guys for joining this morning.
Thank you for watching Life Coaching Today Presents, hosted by Kiddada Grey and produced by Aruba Saad. Our mission at Life Coaching Today is to empower your health, business, community, and life. Check us out at lifecoachingtoday.com. Everyone here at the True Awesome Network would like to remind you to like, comment, subscribe, and spread awesome.